What's up, Church Media Pros? Today I want to talk about how to acquire RA numbers so that you can get your speakers or anything else repaired. Welcome back to Church Media Pro. My name is Aaron Ward, and on this channel we talk about all things church media production and advertising. And today, guys, I want to talk about how to achieve getting an RMA number or an RA number from the manufacturer when you have a piece of equipment, especially an expensive piece of equipment like a speaker or say a microphone receiver or something like that repaired, so that you don't have to buy new every single time. So what I like to do, and I'll just tell you a quick story. We had two massive Meyer 600 HPs flown in the air at our church, and unfortunately both of them on the same night went dead, and I had no idea why. Unfortunately, we replugged them in, tried different power, tried different XLRs, and couldn't even get them to power up. They would do this thing where the lights would flash for a second and immediately trip, and I just knew something internally was wrong with them. So the hardest thing that we had to do was get them down. I had put them up in the air above our stage actually before we finished our stage, so it was really hard to get them down without getting into a bunch of rappelling and like rock climbing gear involved. Thankfully, our next gen pastor, the pastor over youth and kids and soon to be over one of our campuses, is a climber, and he has a lot of climbing equipment, ropes and pulleys and these sorts of things. So he was able to help me, along with some scaffolding and our scissor lift, get these 250-pound speakers out of the air, powered, self-powered speakers, and it was pretty amazing to see him work. And thankfully we all made it through safely. I don't recommend doing this without previous knowledge of what you're doing. I hung them myself. I made all of the wire ropes and shackles, not shackles, but I put everything up in the air because I have the experience that of doing this with. I've learned from very experienced people. In fact, my mentor of mine, previous boss, I should say, at another church, was the stagehand union president for years, and knew all the math and things behind how to get things in there and why, and talking about loads on steel and all this stuff, and so got a lot of experience in that regard. However, so we needed to get them out of the air onto the ground and get them teched. So we were able to try plugging them in on the ground as well. Tried a different XLR again, just to make sure that they were in fact not working. Ended up taking the amp modules out. Let me show you a picture of this, guys. So these are the 600 HPs by Meyer. They're, in my opinion, top of the line subwoofers. Dual 18 super heavy duty boxes and massive amp modules internally. So these amp modules are easily taken out with I think there's like 6 screws on the back, and you're into the box itself. There's a couple, actually just one multi-pin power and signal clip-on sort of. I can't remember the type of connector it is, but it's something similar to like something you'd see in a computer. Anyway, that attaches the speakers themselves to the amp module, and that's all you have to disconnect is one clip, and it's like four wires, one clip. So you pull that out, and then you have the amp module. And so we were able to take that out. We wanted to eliminate that as our issue, so we actually took a plate amplifier. One of my IT guy at our church is really into to creating high-end audio gear, so he actually had a plate amplifier lying around, which is crazy, I know, but he was able to connect it to each of the subs and test to make sure that they sounded great, and they still did, even though we bought these used. These are not the current models at all. It's as far as Meyer's lineup goes, and he was able to plug these in and make sure just with the the binding post connections to make sure that we did have some good speakers still involved. So those were all good, no crazy rattling, anything out of the norm. So we knew that the amps were bad. And so what I did, and this is what I'm trying to make this video guys, is how to best repair these things. Instead of going, oh shoot, we need to spend another $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 per unit here. I mean, these guys used were around $4,000. I think they retailed for about $7 a piece at the time, when they were new. Check out my video on how to find great used prices. My secret weapon as far as getting great used gear in the video description below. But so what I did is I called my local Meyer dealer. I bought these through PRG, but my local Meyer dealer is a friend of mine, and he called Meyer himself and got RA numbers for us, or RMA numbers, or return authorization is what RA stands for. So what he does is he called them. Meyer typically doesn't work directly with end users, so you want to go through a middleman, if you will. So Light This Productions in Des Moines, Iowa, fantastic company, buddy of mine, Chris Timmons, called up Meyer, got the RAs, had me send them with the RA number. Make sure when you ship something, make sure there's the RA on the label and a printed version of the RA inside of the box as well, so that they know who to send it back to. Definitely do the return address for yourself as well, but getting that is so important in this process. I can't minimize how important getting an RA number is, and it shouldn't be that hard. It really shouldn't. So if you have anything Shure or AKG, these things are super easy to just call local authorized repair stations for those. There's typically a couple in Chicago, a couple on the West Coast, a couple on the East Coast. So no matter where you are in the United States, and if you're in another country, guys, I mean, your capital cities are going to have the best opportunity to find repair stations or authorized repair stations for those. And so call those up, do a quick Google search, call them up, get an RA number, and that's all you have to ask for. When you go to a support site, you find the number, get on the phone and just say, hey, I need an RA number for X item, and they'll give it to you. You send it in. You'll typically get a call within I mean, these things are never quick, unfortunately. I actually got my subwoofer modules back super quickly. I was really impressed with how quickly I got things back from Meyer once I sent it out. But typically get a call with what the problem is, how much it's going to cost you, and when they expect to get it back to you. So once they've looked at it and teched it, and typically the long wait is on the front end. So a lot of these places will have a backup of orders, so they might take a month to get to yours, but as soon as they've opened it up and teched it, they want to get paid, so they're going to repair it quick. So what you're going to do is wait for that call and then authorize the repair. Hopefully it's far less than what you paid for the item. These amp modules were expensive, but way less expensive than buying new. I think we ended up paying around $1,300 to get these repaired, and it was 2 of them, guys. So rather than spending another $8,000, or even if I found them cheaper for half of what I paid them for these days, even if I found them at $2,000, $1,500 for 2 repaired, tacked by the manufacturer amp modules, I know that these are going to last for another at least 2, 3 to 4 years to come. So normal maintenance, guys, anytime you buy something, we've had these for 5 years before they went bad themselves, and so this is totally normal maintenance. I'm not saying anything bad about Meyer. Meyer's fantastic. So we got them turned around actually really super quick. I think it only took about 2 to 3 weeks to not only send them out and get them tacked and then repaired, but also sent back to us. So kudos to Meyer for doing that for us. And again, for $1,500, we had 2 bad heat coil or heat sinks on these, unfortunately. Hanging in the air, you're gonna have a little bit more heat up in the air. I think it happened in August. We had some issues with our HVAC system a couple years back, and or actually, sorry, not that long ago, last summer. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's just what did these in. Hitting him hard on a Wednesday night for youth. You know, unfortunately I want to blame it on the youth, because it was on a Wednesday night when it happened. But we had you know, up in the air, at least 10 degrees warmer up there, pounding with the system, with the air conditioning system turned off because of an issue with that, and I'm sure that's what did it in. Well, so 2 heat sinks, and unfortunately one of the motherboards also got fried because of the heat as well. So $1,500 later, I got pretty much brand new subs back. I mean, obviously the cones themselves could wear out eventually, but fantastic sounding subs, and I'm going to be placing these in new campuses actually. So I've actually replaced these previously before getting them fixed, and I know we're opening 2 more campuses before the end of the year. So one of them will go to one of the campuses, and the other will go to the 3rd or 4th campus actually that we'll be launching later this year. So guys, let me know what your repair stories are, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions on how to get things repaired. I've got a lot of experience, you know, at least a decade, if not more, experience repairing church production equipment. So give me a call, or rather put a question below. Feel free to add your phone number if you feel so brave. I mean, if you want to, you can join our Facebook group, and you can message me there with more information. And guys, I do like to help anybody out with this, so feel free to reach out. I'm more than willing to give you advice personally for anything you have in your system. So please feel free to reach out. And if you like coffee and church production and advertising, head over to friedrichscoffee.com. If you live in the continental United States, they have fantastic coffee, and they are a client of mine, and anytime you buy on their website, I get a little bit of a commission. So if you want to support this channel, head over to friedrichscoffee.com, order yourself a 12-ounce bag of specialty roasted to order coffee, meaning it's roasted the day that it gets on the truck. So you order, maybe 1-2 days later it gets roasted and immediately goes on UPS, and you get it the freshest it could possibly be at your doorstep. So if you want to support the channel, that'd be fantastic. And with that, let me know what you think about repairing things. If you have any questions, in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless.